Hello, I'm Amy the Angry Yogi, and this is my studio, Warrior Spirit Wellness. I think I have about 11 subscribers now. I'm so thankful. I didn't think that this would take off, or I wasn't sure, but I'm so thankful, so thank you. So, I'm sure all of you are, wrapped up in the news and everything that's going on, and how can you not be? So, let's just turn inward. We have peace inside of us. We just have to quiet the mind to find it. So when you're ready, just come to a comfortable seated position. You don't have to sit in easy seat. You can sit however you want. Your legs can be straight. You can be on your knees if you'd like. Make yourself comfortable. Bring your hands to heart center. Start taking a few deep breaths. I'd like you to inhale for a 5 count and then exhale for a 5 count. Do it 5 times. Notice how the blood is flowing a little bit differently now. Picture roots like a tree coming down from your tailbone, going deep into the earth. This is your connection to the earth, and it's a way to release anything that's no longer serving you. Any intrusive thoughts, fears, annoyances, send them down the roots. At the same time, open your heart and send a bright white light infinitely up into the sky. This is a cleansing and healing light. So with every inhale, we're taking purifying breaths. And with every exhale, we're letting go down the roots. Next, picture a pyramid around you. This is your pyramid of safety. Only the highest vibrations of love and light can come in through the top of your pyramid. And finally, on the outside of this pyramid is a mirror. This sends away anything that's not for your greater good. With the roots, we're grounded. With the light, we're connected. With the pyramid, we're protected. And with the mirror, we're shielded. You can come back to this pyramid of safety at any point during your practice or anytime you're feeling anxiety. Remember, the door opens to the inside. The peace that you're seeking is in you. Take a full inhale through the nose and a cleansing exhale through the mouth. You can release your hands, roll your wrists. On an inhale, bring the arms up high. Exhale, we're planting the right hand, stretching over to the right side, pushing our left hip down towards the floor. Take a few breaths here. Inhale, center. Exhale, opposite side. Inhale, center. One more time each side. Exhale down. Inhale, rise. Exhale down. center. Exhale, bring the palms down, and we're gonna come to our hands and knees. This is tabletop position. Our shoulders are over our wrists, our hips are over our knees. On an inhale, we're gently lifting our chin. Open the collarbone. Let the belly hang low. Exhale, tuck the chin. Push the shoulders towards the ceiling and bring the tailbone under. Inhale, open. Exhale, down. Inhale, open. Exhale, down. Inhale, come to a neutral spine, and we're lifting the right arm up, trying to open towards the ceiling without shifting our hips. Exhale, come down, we're feeding it under the left arm, cheek comes to the floor, hips stay in the air. The left arm can stay bent for support. It can straighten in front of you, or it can bend behind you. On an exhale, bring your left palm back to the mat. We're inhaling up, slow and controlled. Exhale, back to the floor. Opposite way. Inhale, rise. Exhale, come down, feet it under the right arm. Cheek rests on the floor. Same options apply with the right arm. Exhale, bring the right palm back to the mat. Inhale, slowly lift and rise. Exhale, down. We're gonna take a blanket, if you have a blanket, or you can use a towel, and we're gonna make a roll. But you don't want it too thick. So we're gonna actually start from the bottom today and work our way up. We're gonna take this blanket roll. Our feet are tucked and we're up on our knees. We're taking the roll and placing it directly behind our knees. Straighten your feet, and on an exhale, we're sitting back onto the blanket. So we're actually smashing our hamstrings, and we're also targeting the calves and a little bit of the IT band. So just breathe here. We generally hold a lot of tightness in our legs, and they carry us around every day, and we really don't think about stretching them very much. So breaking up all this little fascia does a whole lot to get circulation going and to reduce inflammation, which causes pain. On an exhale, come forward and just give your legs a rest for a couple breaths. And then we're going to slide the blanket to the center of our leg, the center of our calf. And the feet are still flat, and we sit back again. This just brings it lower on the calf and higher on the hamstrings. we're sliding the blanket down to just above our heels. And sit back again. This is targeting the Achilles and the fronts of our ankles. Come forward, you can move your blanket. And I forgot to say, if you have sensitive knees or sensitive wrists, you can put an extra blanket down on your mat, as long as we're not doing standing poses and moving around. So you can be like so. So from here, we're tucking our toes and shifting the weight back onto our feet, but leave some weight down in your hands. So you can control how much of a stretch you're getting in the bottoms of your feet. For anyone that has plantar fasciitis, this is a really good thing to do. Inhale, come forward, roll your ankles. Tuck the toes again. On an exhale, we're walking back. This time, if you're able to, come up onto your knees. Send your exhales to those tight, uncomfortable places in the feet. Inhale, come forward, roll the feet again. Sit back onto your knees, and if that's not comfortable, you can take easy seat. On an inhale, we're lifting the arms up high. On an exhale, we're bringing the palms facing forward. We're squeezing the elbows and bringing the shoulders down. We're pulling them together in the back. Inhale, lift. Exhale, pull down and squeeze. Push all the air out. One more time, exhale, pull down and squeeze. We're warming up our shoulders. Exhale, release. Come forward. If you have props in the way, move them. Coming from tabletop, our toes are tucked, and on an exhale, we're shifting our weight back and up, extending long. So our weight is evenly distributed in the palms. Pushing our shoulders away from the ears towards the hips. It's okay if you can't get your feet flat to the floor. It's okay if your knees are bent. Take some time here. Really start to identify all your problem areas. Where do you have tension and tightness? Walk the palms forward. You can hover here in plank or drop the knees. Exhale down, belly, chest, chin. Pull the palms close to the shoulders. Push the tops of the feet into the mat. Lift the upper body. Exhale down, push over the hips. Come into child's pose. Let your head sink into the mat. Bring the shoulders away from the ears. Sink the hips back towards the heels. And try to take deep breaths here. I know it's hard when you're crunched over like this, but it massages all of the internal organs. It can move things that are stuck. Very slowly rock your forehead side to side on your mat. Massaging the facial muscles, waking up the third eye. Inhale, shift your weight forward. We're tucking our toes. On an exhale, push up to downward facing dog. Lifting the right leg, keeping our hips square. On an exhale, bring the leg down. We're planting it between our hands. Drop your back knee. On an inhale, plant the left hand. We're reaching up towards the ceiling with our right arm. Exhale, come down. Replace the left hand with the right. Engage the core, squeeze the glutes. We're reaching up the opposite way. Exhale, come down. We're sending our foot back to meet the left. Come down to hover in chaturanga or sink to belly, chest, chin. On an inhale, we're pushing up and through to up dog. On an exhale, we're coming back over our feet, pushing into downward facing dog. Pedal it out. This should feel better now, less tight. Inhale the left leg up high. Our hips are square to the floor. On an exhale, we're coming forward, planting the foot. Drop the back knee, engage the core, lift on an inhale. Exhale, come down, replace the right with the left. Inhale, rise. Exhale, come down. We're sending our left foot back to meet the right. Exhale down. You can hover in chaturanga. Pull forward to baby cobra or up dog. Exhale back over the feet. Stretch into down dog. Lift the right leg again. On an exhale, we're coming forward, planting our foot. Step the left leg up a little bit. Inhale, engage the core and rise. This is warrior one. Both of our hips are forward. The back foot is at a 45-degree angle. The front knee does not cross over the toes. We are very strong here. Imagine your feet are like pulling your mat apart. The weight is evenly distributed. On an exhale, bring the hands behind you, clasp the fingers, pull the arms away from the shoulders. Inhale. On an exhale, look to the corner of your mat and we're folding forward to the inside of our knee. The knee stays bent, the core is engaged. If it feels good to lift your arms up and back, you can. Inhale, lift. Exhale, step forward and let it go. On an exhale, we're stepping back with our right foot. Hips face forward. The back foot's at a 45-degree angle. Front knee does not pass the toes. Inhale, rise. Warrior one. Come back to your tree roots. Send them down from your feet, deep into the earth. Nothing is going to knock you over. The weight is evenly distributed between our feet, and we're pulling our legs apart. On an exhale, come back down. Clasp your hands the opposite way. Inhale. On an exhale, we're hinging forward, keeping our hips in the same alignment. If it feels okay to bring the arms off the back, you can. Inhale, rise, engage the core, lift. Exhale, step forward and let it out. Inhale, the arms up high. Exhale, we're bringing the left palm down. We're stretching over to the left side, opening up the right rib cage, making sure not to bump our hip out. Inhale, center. Exhale, opposite way. Inhale, rise. Exhale, forward fold. You can bend the knees deeply. Step the foot hip width apart. On an inhale, we're lifting with the straight back, pulling the shoulders behind us. Lifting halfway. Exhale down. Inhale, rise all the way up. On an exhale, this time we're stepping all the way back with our right foot. This time, the right foot is parallel to the back of your mat. This time, the hips are opened differently. So the front leg is facing forward, the back leg, the hip is facing this way. It's like an L. The arms come up open, and we look over our front fingers. This is warrior two. Inhale, come forward. Exhale, we're reaching long. So there's not a lot of weight in this elbow at all. It's just here for placement. Our core is engaged, our legs and butt are strong. Inhale, back to center. Exhale, flip the top front palm, bring the back hand to the thigh. Exhale, open. Inhale, center. Exhale, reach forward. Create a long line between the tips of your fingers and the back toes. Inhale, lift. Exhale, we're cartwheeling our palms on either side of our front leg, stepping our front foot back to meet the back. On the exhale, we're coming down. Hover in chaturanga. Inhale, come forward. Exhale, drop the knees, push over the hips. We're sinking back into child's pose. Take a breath here. Inhale, slide your palms back to under the shoulders. Hips come under the knees, knees come under the hips. Our back toes are tucked. On an exhale, we're shifting up, downward facing dog. Lift the left leg high. On an exhale, we're bringing it forward, planting the foot, dropping the back heel. And that's wrong because we already did this side. Okay, so we're gonna rewind. Okay, go back down. We're starting here. It doesn't really matter where we start. All right, lift the right leg up. Exhale, come down, plant it between your 2 feet. Drop the back heel so that it's parallel to the back of your mat. Engage the core. Inhale, lift. Warrior two on the right side. Again, our hips are in an L. The front hip is facing forward. The back hip is opening to the side. Our arms are straight in a T and we're looking over our front fingers. Exhale, come forward. We're placing the elbow on the knee for support, reaching long. Inhale, rise. Flip the front palm, place the back palm on your back leg. Exhale, reach. Inhale, come forward. One more time. Exhale, stretch forward. Inhale, rise. Flip the front palm. Exhale to exalted warrior. Inhale, back to warrior two. On an exhale, we're cartwheeling our hands down. Send your foot back to meet the other. Exhale, hover, chaturanga. Inhale, come forward. Exhale, drop both knees. This time they come wide to your mat, feet are together. Send your hips all the way back. Walk the palms forward. Take a wide-legged child's pose. palms back close to the feet. Bring the knees in, and we're turning sideways on our mat. Again, if you need padding for your knees, make sure that you're comfortable. We are going to extend the right foot so that it's parallel to the front of our mat. Inhale the arms up high. On an exhale, we're coming down to the floor, stretching long to the right side body. If that is not available to you, that's what your blocks are for. Your blocks are extensions of your body. You can always come to here. Inhale, rise. Exhale, the right hand plants behind the right leg, and we're just stretching over. You won't go very far. We're opening up the ribs. We hold a lot of inflammation in there. It can cause all kinds of shoulder impingement and back problems. Inhale, rise. Exhale, left palm comes to the mat or your block, and we're stretching long. Lift. Exhale down. Inhale, rise. We're coming back to center so we can switch legs. This time the left foot is parallel to the back of the mat. Inhale, the arms up high. Exhale, the right palm comes to the floor or a block. We're reaching long. Inhale, lift. Exhale, down. Inhale. One more time, exhale down, stretch long. Inhale, rise. Exhale, down. Come back to neutral. And I think it's important that we do some heart openers, like some chest openers. You know, with everything that's going on, I feel like we're all stuck in our heads, and that can be a scary place. So we need to come down to our hearts and live from our hearts. So it's as if we're going to do tabletop, but really we're coming down to our elbows. And you might need to shift your knees back to get the length right. But we're putting the palms together, and on an exhale, we're letting our head sink towards the blocks. So this is opening up underneath the shoulder girdle. Now it's natural to feel really guarded here. So it takes about a minute for that stretch reflex to stop fighting you. And when it happens, you'll know, because you'll just sink down without even trying. If you don't have blocks, you can do this on the mat, just with the mat itself. Take a few deep breaths here, full inhales and exhales. That's how we move everything that's stuck. And notice how on your exhales, if you fully push all the air out, you just naturally sink lower. Release your palms, gently shift your weight forward, walk the knees closer. All right. So now we're going to do something called iron cross. You control the degree of the stretch. So it looks kind of scary, it looks intense, but you're in control of how far you go. I'm going to push some of this stuff out of the way. We actually come down onto our bellies, face down. So we'll start with our left arm. So our arms come out to a T, and our forehead just lays flat. On an exhale, we're using our right side to help us roll over. So the left palm is face down. And we control the degree of the stretch by how far the right arm pushes and the right leg comes over. So the idea is to sink down into this front shoulder, into the left shoulder. And try to breathe deep here. You also have the option of bending the right arm behind you. You can always walk that right leg back a little further for a quadricep stretch. Like open up the front of the right hip. Exhale, bring the right palm back to the mat, and we're just slowly unrolling, coming back to center. Place the palms face down, rest your forehead, let everything be dead weight. This is reverse Shavasana. When you're ready, we're going to extend the right arm, palm down. On an exhale, we're opening to the right side, using our left side body to control how far we go. You do not want to feel any pinching or burning anywhere, in the shoulder, in the low back, anywhere. Same options apply with the left arm. You can bend it behind you if you'd like. Breathe into the front of the right shoulder. Exhale, we're bringing our palm back to the floor. Unroll, bring the palms in. Again, rest in reverse Shavasana. Do a body scan. Where are your places of tightness now? Move into the next pose, which is supported Sphinx. If you do not have a bolster, you can use a pillow. If you don't have to use anything at all, you can do this just on the floor without any support. I like to use it because it's comfortable. So come down onto your support with it on your rib cage, so your chest is over the top. So my ribs are on, the chest is over the top. Our palms face down, and they hug in as close as possible. Our elbows are hugged in. The lower body is completely relaxed. On an exhale, we're gently letting our head rest down. And you will feel a nice long pull down the whole spine, just some gentle traction. The more you plant the elbows and try to pull forward with just your elbows, the more traction you get. On an exhale, tuck your toes, pull the palms back, and we're shifting our weight back to child's pose. Option to do supported child's pose with a pillow. Let's this time bring the knees together, and we're sinking down. About 1 more minute here. Check in with your breathing. Try taking 5 full inhales and exhales. Slowly bring the palms back, lift up. We're going to come down to our backs. From here, we're going to cross the ankle, the right ankle over the left knee, and on an exhale, we're allowing the legs to fall over until our foot touches the floor. If your foot can't come all the way to the floor without it hurting your low back, you can put a block underneath the foot. Inhale, come back to center. Switch feet. Left ankle crosses over the right knee. Exhale, come down. Inhale, come back to center. Uncross the feet and hug the knees in. We're gonna rock side to side just for a couple seconds. From here, we're bringing the soles of our feet together and hugging it in. So our knees are wide, our spine is pressed into the mat, and our shoulders are on the floor. If you can't reach your feet, you can use a strap. So you would hold like so. But you want your shoulders on the floor and your whole spine pushed down into the mat. keep the right leg hugged in, and we're gonna take a half happy baby. So the left leg extends, and you have the choice of either grabbing your big toe with your peace fingers, or you can hold the outside of your foot. It does change like the angle of the stretch, but everyone's hips are different, so do what's right, what feels right. Obviously you're gonna feel it groin and hamstring. On an exhale, bring the left foot back in, and we're switching sides. Open to the right. Again, decide if you want to hold the big toe or the outside of your foot, but try to relax that leg as much as possible. Let the feet come down to the floor. Get nice and slow. Just windshield wipe the knees back and forth a few times. Hug the knees back in, and we're crossing one foot over the other. It doesn't matter which side, because we'll do both. And we're just holding our toes down so that you feel a stretch in the front of the shin and the front of the foot. Our shoulders are relaxed on the floor. I like to rock side to side when I do this. You don't have to, but it does massage the sacrum, which feels really good. Your feet and roll the ankles. Whichever one leg you had on top, switch it. Come back down. Release your feet, roll the ankles one more time, and we are going to work our way back up to seated, so however you want to get there. And I feel like we need to do a good quad opener, and that's how we'll end the class today. So, it is not a comfortable pose, but it is very beneficial. So you're going to want a blanket to pad your right foot. And you might want to build yourself a platform. So if you're really tight, most everybody is, you can build yourself a platform. The tighter you are, the higher it's going to have to be. So this is a good way to do it. I don't like using blocks, I use the bolster. So we're coming with our left leg forward and the right leg is bent behind us. So the goal is to lie back for half saddle. If your quads are really tight, you probably have a lot of tension in the SI joint, which is why you need the props. And the blanket is for your foot and ankle because if you don't have it, it digs into the floor and that's really all you can think about while you're holding the stretch. So be mindful of your body. You don't want any pinching or burning in your knee, ankle, or hip, or low back. Only you can decide what feels right. But we're walking back nice and slow onto our props. And you're gonna feel it in the top of the right leg. Try to rest your arms down. And just send your exhales to those places in the leg where it's really tight. The deeper you breathe, the more of a release you'll get. Body scan. Is there anything that you're clenching that could be relaxed? Seconds here. Exhale. The easiest way to get out of this pose is to roll over towards the left side so that you can safely unfold the right knee. Come back and let the blood come back into your legs. We have one more. So you probably want to scoot your props over to more of the right side of the mat now. The right leg is straight. The left leg bends back. If you feel too much pressure, if you feel any pinching or burning, then you need to extend the leg out some more. Once you get your props ready, we're walking ourselves back. And don't judge yourself if it feels completely different. Like everyone has a good side and a bad side. Most of us have hip imbalances. This is my bad side. You can probably tell that I'm rotated more towards the right than I was when we were the other direction. Nice and slow, do a body scan and try to relax every muscle that you can. exhale, roll over towards the left side so that you can the right side so you can safely unhinge the left leg. All right. And it is time for Shavasana, which is our final pose. It's the resting pose, and it is the most important because you're finishing up your practice. It's a way to seal in your practice and listen to what your body is trying to tell you. We're always so disconnected. Our lives are busy and crazy, and especially right now when there's so many unknowns and uncertain things, it's really important to just come back to your heart. Come back inside. All of the answers are within. So traditionally, you don't need any equipment at all, but I like to make this comfortable. I'm actually going to do a chest opener during Shavasana, but otherwise just lie flat on your back with your arms and legs relaxed, and this is our way to close the practice. Much time as you need. You can always pause this video. When you're ready, roll to your right side and take a few breaths there. Again, take your time, but we'll meet back at seated whenever you're ready. Close your eyes and bring your hands back to heart center. Think about how you're feeling differently now compared to when you first started. Be proud of yourself for coming to your mat. Maybe take a moment to just think about things that you're grateful for. Thank you so much for subscribing to my page. I really love you guys and I appreciate it. Namaste.